Good morning, Oracles. Well, there's some big things I want to talk about today. One is about the Supercharger network, and I think it's something that Elon was alluding to at the annual shareholder meeting. But first, we're going to talk about the Fed minutes. The stock right now, we're down about 1% pre-market. We've got the Fed minutes coming out today at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So a lot of times we've seen it all year long, a little uncertainty leading into this. So my thoughts are, we're right around 916 at the time of this recording. We have a gap that goes down to 900. So I'm wondering if we are going to fill that 900 gap before we come up and break that 940 resistance. So we'll see how this plays out. I have a feeling that may end up being the way we go. Again, I don't know what the future is going to hold, but if we fill that 900 gap and then bounce off of that and come up, I think it's going to be a strong signal that we are going to be breaking that 940 resistance later this week. Now, next stop after that is 950 for a psychological resistance, which we should be able to get through relatively easily. Next step is 976, which is right around that $1 trillion market cap's place. So if we can get to that point, I think that'll be the next real battle that we have when it comes to a resistance level before we get to $1,000. Lots to play out between now and the split. Again, the split is happening on August 24th, so when you wake up in the morning on August 25th, you will have 3 times the shares. So we'll see how today plays out. Again, the Fed minutes when they come out shouldn't give us any new news, nothing that's going to really change the market in one way or the other. But when it comes to market manipulation and uncertainty, that's just how the market works out. Usually you have some red with uncertainty. And yesterday, President Biden officially signed into law the Inflation Act. So this is including the EV tax credit. We will see that taking place and going into effect as of the first of the year. So we'll see how Tesla works around with its pricing with the vehicles. We know that the Model 3 long range is not included in this, so they may tweak the price down on that a little bit to make sure it is included. We already have seen that they have taken that off of ordering for the US and Canada. Rob Maurer did a great in-depth piece on that, discussing how, Elon said it's because demand was so high. Maybe it's because they're trying to figure out some different configurations on it to bring pricing down, because that is that one oddball vehicle that is not going to qualify for the EV tax credit. So maybe they're doing some workarounds for that to figure out how they can get that included for next year. So that does make a lot of sense on that standpoint. So we'll see if they tweak any pricing here and there. But again, this to me just gives Tesla a lot more pricing power when it comes to all of their vehicles going into the future. Now again, this does apply to all vehicles that are assembled in North America. Hyundai does not qualify for that as their vehicles are assembled over in Korea. I believe Polestar is also not included in that. That's what I had read. Correct me if I am wrong on that. But these 2 vehicles will not be included in that. Now again, this is still going to be great for the whole EV adoption and moving forward. Now when it comes to the EV adoption, let's move over to the Supercharger network news that we got yesterday. Now Sawyer Merritt broke this on Twitter and then said that they have since taken it down. It looks like Tesla is going to have a Supercharger membership program for non-Tesla EV owners. So it looked like any non-Tesla EV owners were able to register their vehicles to charge on the Supercharger network. So there's going to be 2 different options for this. There's going to be the pay-as-you-go, just like you would do normally for any vehicles as it is now if you're going to pay for gas or charging your vehicles anywhere else. Or then there's a monthly payment, which is 99 cents per month in the US. Now compared to Electrify America, that's $4 per month. So that's significantly undercutting those prices. Now Sawyer did come back on later and say that that has been taken down. You can no longer go on there to register for this. So it may have just been somebody accidentally publishing this ahead of time. But I'm wondering if this is what Elon was alluding to as far as something big is coming for the Supercharger network in the future. So now let's take a look and see what this implies for numbers. So right now, based upon SP Global's numbers from 2021, there were 16.5 million EVs on the road worldwide. So at this point in 2022, we can safely assume that there's maybe around 20 million EVs worldwide. We know that Tesla has 3 million of those vehicles, so Tesla has 15% of the global EV fleet. So that means that there's still 17 million EVs on the road right now that are not using Tesla's Supercharger network. And now there are some places in the world where the Supercharger network is open, like in the EU and places in Europe are able to use the Supercharger network. But at this point, it is still a minimal number. So let's say even half of those come on and decide to use that. That's 8.5 million vehicles. Now, if you're looking at the monthly subscription, or even the minimal profits that Tesla makes, when it comes to revenue, right now, that's not a large amount of money coming in for revenue for Tesla from this. But let's look down the road when it comes to the implications of all of this. As the EV adoption grows, that is significantly more vehicles that are going to be utilizing the supercharger network. So that revenue will grow significantly over time. Now let's talk about the actual psychological implications of this. So you go to a supercharger network and you're driving your Bolt, let's say. You go there and you see somebody driving a Tesla. You have a conversation because don't forget, charging does still take a significantly longer amount of time than if you're pumping gas. So you're there, let's say for 25 or 30 minutes charging your vehicle, you strike up a conversation with someone. So this person who drives the Bolt is now talking to the person who drives the Tesla. They start discussing their vehicles, what the pros and cons are of them. The person driving the Bolt is like, oh, you can do all of these things with a Tesla. Your Tesla does this, your Tesla does that. Now all of a sudden, a lot more people start to convert over to Teslas because they see the superiority of the vehicle over what they are currently driving. They can see all the benefits of it. They have the passion that these Tesla owners have talking about their vehicles. They start convert some of these people over. Now, don't forget, you have to register through Tesla in order to get onto the supercharger network. So this is already their gateway into the ecosystem for Tesla. They already have it registered. They don't own a Tesla. They're just using the Tesla supercharger network, but they're in that ecosystem. Now, all of a sudden, it's just easier for them to get in a vehicle. Oh, they've got a vehicle? Now they've got the vehicle. How many Tesla owners out there? Let me know yourselves. How many of you as Tesla owners have Tesla solar power, have Tesla power walls, have other Tesla pieces of the ecosystem? That gateway in from the supercharger network could lead to significantly more revenue and bigger customers for Tesla in the future. This is going to be a very key component for Tesla going forward. And it's not like Tesla's really losing market share when it comes to the overall global automotive market, because everything is growing. Anybody who has EVs is going to grow with this. But when it comes to taking market share back from competitors, Tesla's literally going to do this at the superchargers. They're going to have people who are converting. So like I said, even if 50% of people start to use supercharger networks, and even if only 10% of the people who are going there decide to switch over to Teslas, that's still 10% of the customers that are out there that they are taking back for themselves. So again, this implication for the future could be massive. And I'm just curious as to see when this is going to drop. Elon did allude to something coming later this year. I have a feeling this might be it. We already know that they are growing their supercharger network at a rapid rate. Elon said that they will be looking to double their supercharger network next year. And if they're going to be doubling it every year after that, that's just, this is the big piece that they need to, because obviously the infrastructure network behind all of this is so huge. As you get EVs on the road, you don't want long lines at your chargers. That's just going to be discouraging, just very much like having a long wait time to get your vehicle to begin with. So these things are going to come down over time. Charging is going to speed up, so it's not going to take as long to charge your vehicle in the future. You'll have more chargers that are out there, so you're not going to have to wait as long to get to a charger. Wait time for vehicles is going to come down. So this is all going to improve over time and in turn improve the customer experience. It's just going to take a little time to get there. But again, this whole entire piece is just the first stepping stone for the future in Tesla really trying to convert the entire world over to renewable energy. Because don't forget, that was really what the mission is for Tesla to begin with. And so by allowing other EVs to be able to use the supercharger network, it's going to increase the EV adoption, because now people aren't going to be at, other charging, Blink charging or Electrify America. They're not going to be over at those. They're going to have a larger network to charge on, which is going to make people be like, oh, changing over to EVs, this EV adoption is a reality. It's not going to be as difficult as we thought. We can definitely charge our vehicles. So now we can go out there and more people will be apt to buy EVs. So this will also increase demand for all EVs overall. And so again, while the actual revenue that they will be bringing in from this is quite minimal at this time, by having just 50% of the EV fleet on the road, that could potentially quadruple the revenue that Tesla is bringing in from its supercharger network by going from 3 million vehicles charging to 12 million vehicles charging. Now, of course, we know that, of the 3 million vehicles that Tesla has produced, they're not all still on the road. These are just rough numbers that I'm throwing out there. But based upon these numbers, that is a solid quadrupling of the revenues coming in, and that can continue over time and become pretty massive. We're talking about the amount of money that we pay at the gas pumps right now, and how Saudi Aramco brought in over $48 billion worth of net income in Q2. Thinking about the fact that the supercharging network is going to in turn be very similar to paying, for gas at the pumps, despite the fact that Tesla is going to be, getting minimal profits from this because that's not what they're looking for to get from the charger network. That's still going to be significant. This here itself is going to be an exponential growth curve for sure when it comes to revenue generation. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out over the course of the year. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this. Again, it was up for a short time, so it's nothing official yet, but it seems like this is what is going to be coming out. Let me know if you guys think this is what Elon was alluding to at the annual shareholder meeting as far as something big coming for the supercharger network. So let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know what you guys think about what revenue this could potentially generate and how this could change Tesla in the future. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat, that link is down in the description, and if you'd like to support the channel any further, I do have a Patreon, that link is also in the description. Thank you so much, have a great one.